I don't know how many years ago, I was a high school football player. He's the head coach at Doane College, chose not to recruit Craig Bohl because I was not a very good athlete. What that says, he's a hell of an evaluator of talent right there. Yeah, he's a good friend, and that program's going the right way. Good seeing you, Coach. Yeah, well, we're really pleased to win the game. This was a good football team that we beat. Our guys had a great week of practice, and they bought in. I know a lot was said, well, are you going to rest certain players, or what's the attitude, the makeup of our football team? Our guys had a great focus. They're very determined. They want to be undefeated, and this was a good football team that we decisively beat tonight, so it was a great win. Questions?
Joe Glenn just said you're basically the greatest 1AA football team to ever take a field everywhere. Do you agree with that assessment?
Well, he didn't evaluate me very well as a player, Mike. I don't know what all those other teams have been like out there. I think he's got a good understanding. I appreciate his opinion. I can tell you it's the best football team we've had since I've been our head football coach. And the thing that's been so impressive about the group is they've stayed grounded, humble. They haven't got too high, haven't got too low, and they keep working to get better.
You impressed. You went 11-0. You know how tough this league is to go through it unbeaten.
That is a really special feat because you said it. I mean, it's hard to do. The other thing that was impressive, and I think you had brought it up, Dom, I mean, we got taken late, and it was a heck of a ball game, the one game. But outside of that, these games were decided, long before at the tail end of the game. And I think that proves what kind of depth this football team has.
What was it like getting to hoist the conference trophy and win this outright and be able to do it in your own building?
Well, it was neat to, first of all, to win it last week. And Patty said she was sending the trophy. I didn't know when it was going to get here. But it was super to do it. Plus, to do it with a win, it would be really anticlimactic to go out there and lose and try to do something like that. And then also, if we had played really sloppy, I thought, there's some things certainly we could have cleaned up, but I thought we played well.
Craig, what was the emotion like when the introduction of the seniors?
Our players, and we had talked to our players, Kevin, about that, and I think our players handled it a lot better than I did. That's hard for me. And we had our players address the football team during the course of the week, and we had to stage it because there were so many seniors. But the understanding and the wisdom and the character of these guys and the things that they had to share is going to be always etched in my mind and heart. They're a super, super group of seniors. And that was hard for me to see them go out there. The positive thing was we knew that we would be playing at home again. But as you saw them just kind of trail off in the distance, Coach Osborne had talked to me about really valuing and really taking in the players. That's one thing that he felt like he hadn't done enough of, and I tried to do that, especially this year so far.
How big is it to have home field? That to go through this building now, somebody's going to have to come here and beat you guys.
Well, this place changes on playoff games. I mean, it's I didn't know what to expect, Dom, because they said the playoff crowd's different, but it is. And we've really enjoyed our fan support this year, but things get ratcheted up another notch. Competition goes up. Our expectations are high. We realize that, and we're really excited. Hopefully we'll have a chance to sell the thing out.
Coach, do you anticipate taking a moment to reflect on from 2003 to now, picking up 100 career victories here in NDSU?
I have not, and that's an honest question. I think, there's so many moving parts and so many people that are responsible for that. I think it's an indication very rarely anymore is a football coach allowed to stay long enough to be able to get 100 wins. But that's a whole lot of effort by a whole lot of people, and I really have not spent much time thinking about that.
Rod Jensen has the most victories as an FCS quarterback for a career. What does that say about what he's been able to do here to get to that point?
Those numbers speak for themselves. And that has not been a easy schedule that he's played. And the games that he has excelled in, when the game is on the line, And I don't know all the numbers and everything else. You can slice it, dice it up, passing efficiencies and all those other things. You give that guy the ball when he got to perform in the most clutch situations, whether he's got the flu and hadn't eaten for 36 hours like he had to do a couple years ago, or you're in a hostile environment like Kansas State and he threw one pick earlier and he goes 7 for 7 and scores on the last drive, or 4th and 3 against Georgia Southern, or you can go on and on and on. This game is about winning right there, and I don't think there's a better winner out there than Brock Jensen.
What impact did Ryan have on the game today?
Well, I thought significant. The ability for us to have 2 big hitters at the wide receiver, I think is huge. People can't tilt or double covers some things, and both of those guys between Zach and Ryan has made a big difference. And then, he's a really solid return man as well. And then the real X factor is he's such a seasoned veteran player. Guys have so much respect for him, and to have his presence on our sideline and then moreover on the field, that makes a big difference.
In your time at NDSU, have you often had 2 big burners at wide receiver, 2 vertical threats like that?
No. And we've not had our quarterback be able to throw the deep ball like we're throwing it right now. And that, I love Steve Walker, but right now we're throwing the deep ball as well as I can ever remember.
Did you get an explanation from the referee on why it was not a touchdown with Zach Raw?
I can't comment on that. I get it. I got an explanation, and they got an explanation from me too.
Where do you need to improve? Where do you need to improve going to the playoffs?
Boy. Yes. Yeah, we do. There were a couple things that, there were some run fits that we missed today, Mike. There was a couple runs that had popped out that I think we've got to improve on that. Offensively, there was a couple missed blocking assignments. Brock overcame them, but there were a couple missed blocking assignments. There was a couple things, but we weren't far off, though. This was not one of those games where you walk in and you go, gosh, we just didn't play very well. We played well, and there's room for improvement. The thing I think we've got to do, Mike, is this is going to be the next grind. And we've got a seasoned veteran football team that's experienced at that grind, but this is the next grind, and you're in for a one play. Every game is sudden death, and so we got to be on our A game.
How close was Marcus to playing? Was that a decision at all that you were going to hold him out?
Yeah, we were going to hold him out. We looked and said we could have played him if it was an emergency, but the other guys, their movement skills right now were just better. And until he can, and we're in hopes now with a bye that he'll be back ready to go. At least that's what he told me on the sideline.
Any other injuries today?
Jesse Hines did something with his knee. We'll probably find that out tomorrow. A couple other, there was a high ankle sprain by, I can't remember right now, but I think Jesse's probably the most concerned one. Another question? Yeah.
What does an unbeaten record mean to you in the regular season?
Yeah, we've not done it so far. And that's what's interesting now. Unlike, when we were ineligible, it wouldn't have a perfect season. It means a lot. It's hard. And, I had an opportunity when I was at Nebraska. We were able to do it. And it's one of those things that you set back when you retire, you probably really relish. But when you're in the midst of it, I didn't appreciate it then, and I probably haven't appreciated what's gone on so far now. To go through the Valley undefeated is special. I know that our players are maybe possessed would be an overstatement, but not far off. I mean, they do not want to lose. They do not want to lose. And so that's a pretty good attitude they have. Okay, thanks.